Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm your host, Michelle Stern. So, as I promised you, I am going to bring this very stout defender of the NaRRA bill. He seems to find no fault with it at all. And he made an excellent presentation for somebody who is in the lower house, the parliament, as an MP, first time MP. I was so impressed that I said, no, sir, I have to bring this to your attention. I don't know if you've heard it before, but if not, well, I am bringing it to you now. Yes, man. I see that quite a number of persons were very happy to hear the full speech of Marlene Malahou Fort. Yes, indeed. A lot of persons said that they never heard the full speech. And now that they have heard the full speech, they now know in what context she had made the remarks that others made sensational. We don't have the bill before us, but we were able to get some snippets of information from her and others about what they believe needs correcting. Not a thing wrong with that. It's better to correct the bill than have to come back and amend it and waste parliament time. Yes. So I'm going to let you listen to Delano. But before I do, may I ask everyone, please, to give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead, please. Give the video a thumbs up from now on. Share the video, subscribe, and feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. And for that, I wish to thank you all. Well, that was pretty quick, wasn't it? Yes. So now that we've had that out of the way, let's now get down to business. Prior to Delano Seiveright speaking in the parliament, there were a number of other MPs on the opposition benches, and they had lots to say in terms of the issues that they found with the bill. And so, having completed their assessment of the bill, Delano got up to make his reply. And so he was responding to some of what was being said and had his own views on the bill. For those who may be tuning in for the first time, to Jamaican politics and may not know, Delano Seiveright is on the government benches. He took over the seat from Carl Somuda, who retired from politics. And previous to that, he was in the Senate. He previously served as the Minister of State in the Ministry of Tourism, where he was credited for doing all manner of wonderful things for tourism. He is currently the Minister of State in the Ministry of Industry, Investment, and Commerce. He is a Calabar old boy. Some will be very happy to hear that, where he is said to have excelled academically as well as in leadership activities. He obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in Political Science from the UWI, Mona, and later earned a Master of Science degree in Public Policy and Management from the University of London. He was also appointed to the boards of several public bodies, including JAMPRO, Jamaica Tourist Board, Cannabis Licensing Authority, and National Insurance Fund. He is 41 years old, born August 2, 1984. So now that we have a brief background of Mr. Delano Seiveright, let's listen now to his stout defense of the NaRRA bill.
So much, Madam Speaker. I rise in strong support of the National Reconstruction and Resilience Authority bill. So let us be clear from the outset that this is not routine legislation. And as the Prime Minister indicated when opening this debate last week, this is among the most consequential pieces of legislation this Parliament has been asked to consider in the modern era of Jamaica's development. And it's consequential for the simple reason, I don't need to go through all the statistics, but Hurricane Melissa was catastrophic. One of the worst hurricanes on record, costing Jamaica $12.2 billion US or $1.95 trillion. more than half our GDP. 215,000 structures damaged, some of them destroyed, 600 schools impacted, health infrastructure compromised, major roads, drainage systems, utilities destroyed. Entire communities left devastated, towns such as Black River badly damaged, displacing thousands of residents and exposing deep vulnerabilities. So the scale, Madam Speaker, of the destruction underscored the urgent need for coordinated national reconstruction and resilience efforts. So it's not theory, it is about delivery. Now, we note the criticism, and this is democracy, it is healthy, but much of what is being said does not really, frankly, stand up to a careful reading of the bill as it now exists. Because when you move past the speculative points and actually examine the text, what you find is not recklessness. What you find is structure. What you find is discipline. And what you find is accountability built into law. Madam Speaker, this bill is grounded in a moment of extreme national urgency. Hurricane Melissa did not just damage infrastructure, it exposed structural weaknesses. And as the Prime Minister said, what has been missing is not the dream, but the institutional machinery to turn that dream into delivered reality. And that is what the bill provides. So, Madam Speaker, this foundation is structure, it's not chaos. Under clauses 1 and 2, the purpose is clear. It's post-disaster reconstruction and long-term resilience. Under clause 3, NaRRA is a body corporate, not informal, not ad hoc, but a legal institution with defined responsibilities and obligations. It's not, Madam Speaker, a temporary committee or a task force. This is institutional machinery for national execution. Madam Speaker, at the heart of this bill, clause 4, this is where the criticism begins and where it should end. Because clause 4 does something very simple. It creates a single central coordinating authority to plan, prioritize, implement, and track national reconstruction. That is not dangerous. That is necessary. And as the proverb reminds us, too many cooks spoil the broth. Fragmentation is the enemy of recovery. And this bill is designed to eliminate fragmentation. So, Madam Speaker, let me give a direct response to this is a too broad a legislative effort. And I heard the opposition leader and the member from St. Catherine, Northwestern, and the member from Manchester South. We hear that the mandate is too broad. But let us be serious. Reconstruction is broad. You cannot fix roads without drainage. You can't fix houses without utilities. And you can't build communities without infrastructure. The bill, frankly, reflects reality, but critically, it is not unbounded. It is anchored by cabinet-approved projects. And I think the people of Jamaica should be reminded that the Cabinet of Jamaica is not a standalone authority. It's a temporary custodian of power granted by the people themselves. The government is elected by the citizens. Every minister holds their seat as a servant of public trust, legally bound to a mandate derived directly from the ballot box. And to prevent the abuse of this borrowed power, we have checks and balances. We have an Auditor General, we have parliamentary oversight, we have Julian Robinson chairing the Public Accounts Committee, we have legislative and judicial scrutiny, and we have many other transparent mechanisms in this functional democracy that we call Jamaica. So you have cabinet-approved projects. Clause 17, We have structured programs and plans, clause 18 and 19. Full auditing as a standard and reporting, clauses 9 to 11. And of course, we have the dissolution under part 4. So this is not a free-for-all. This is a structured flexibility under law. Madam Speaker, another claim is that the bill prioritizes speed over quality, and that is simply incorrect. Clauses 18 and 19 require structured programs, costed projects, monitoring systems, and critically, climate resilience and prioritization of vulnerable communities. So this is not rebuilding what failed. This is building what will last. Madam Speaker, I hear the points about power and concentration of power. Let us deal directly with this concern about leadership, because this is really a problem. I don't know what it is. I don't know what we're drinking. I don't know what we're drinking in the country. Yes, the CEO, yes, the Chief Executive Officer has responsibility under Clause 5. But let me ask you a simple question. In a national reconstruction effort, who should be responsible? Because history shows us what happens when no one is. And as the Prime Minister rightly stated, when accountability is diffused, institutions start to protect the processes rather than deliver outcomes, and the people suffer. So the bill avoids that failure. And importantly, and this is the CEO fits, the CEO is not unchecked. You have cabinet approval, clause 17, ministerial direction, clause 13, fulsome audit and financial controls, clause 9, parliamentary reporting in clause 10 and 11, public transparency in clause 20, and I really want to draw attention to that clause 20 because this is really phenomenal. It says, it requires the authority to maintain a register of approved reconstruction and resilience projects, including descriptions and applicable programs and plans, and importantly, the register must be made available electronically for public inspection, providing direct transparency. So this is not a concentration without restraint. This is leadership. This is clear leadership within a framework of accountability. Now, I'm a little bit disappointed because none of the opposition members really pulled on any prominent examples internationally, right? We have to step outside of Jamaica. I heard you're Hungarian. I don't know what that was about. But let us step outside Jamaica for a moment. Because the world, not in a fulsome way. No, not fulsomely. The world has already run this experiment and we have seen failures all around. 2010 earthquake in our lovely neighbor Haiti. Billions in aid, but no effective central authority. They had a commission, an interim Haiti Recovery Commission. $13 billion US committed, only $6 billion spent, and who knows where it went. They had fragmented actors, weak coordination. The Prime Minister actually chaired the committee along with a former US president and other critical stakeholders. It failed. New Orleans, Hurricane Katrina, the great United States of America. Multiple levels of government failed to coordinate. Bureaucracy slowed the response, and the entire communities lagged for over a decade. Then we look at our neighbor, one of our neighbors, Puerto Rico, 2017 Hurricane Maria, again a part of the United States. They had funding that existed, but the approvals were slow. The authority was fragmented. They set up a central office of recovery and reconstruction and resiliency 2 weeks after the hurricane. An expert report now points out that they will probably get to fulsome completion of all their recovery efforts by 2051. Why? Because oversight paralysis. They had a central office for recovery giving oversight. You had FEMA giving oversight, the Housing and Urban Development Corporation giving oversight, the Department of Energy giving oversight, the Governor's Office giving oversight, and then all sorts of stakeholder groups in Puerto Rico giving oversight. And this is wealthy Puerto Rico, part of the US, $86 billion obligated, they only managed to spend $40 billion out of it. So The pattern, Madam Speaker, is undeniable. Plans are nothing, execution is everything. Recovery does not fail because of money, because here we have the great United States, full of money. Authority was fragmented, approvals are slow, leadership is unclear, and systems cannot execute. And that is exactly what this bill fixes. This bill establishes a single coordinating authority, again, Clause 4. Structured programs and plans, Clauses 18 and 19. Approved accelerated mechanisms, Clauses 21 to 24. Cabinet accountability and audit and reporting. This, Madam Speaker, is not chaka-chaka legislation. So, Madam Speaker, as it relates to approval bottlenecks, clauses 21 to 24, and I think I heard the member saying Catherine Northwest speaking to this. This is one of the strongest features, actually, because this is where most countries evolving post-disaster fail. These clauses coordinate agencies, it sets timelines, it issues directives, it allows structured escalation, but with safeguards. Expert advice is required, written justification, and opportunity for response. So this is not bypassing governance. This is fixing bureaucratic paralysis. And it's important we make a careful note of that. Madam Speaker, there is concern about oversight. Yes, let us deal with it clearly. Inside the bill again, the accounts and audit provisions, Clause 9, reporting, Clause 10 and 11, transparency again, Clause 20. Outside the bill, yes, but critically, the government has established JAMROC, which is chaired by a Jamaican son of a Stanford professor, Peter Blair Henry, who, by the way, sits on two of the biggest boards in the world, Citigroup and Nike. This is somebody with a reputation to protect. And this body will provide independent public oversight, reports on performance, and introduce a national accountability lens, similar to EPOC. And importantly, performance will be based on measurable outcomes, not processes. And Madam Speaker, oversight will include broad stakeholder input, including the opposition. So, Madam Speaker, the claim that there's no oversight is simply not correct. What we have is statutory accountability and external independent oversight. Madam Speaker, let us be clear. Clauses 9, audited accounts, Auditor General has full access. Clauses 10 and 11, reports to Parliament. The Public Electronic Register, Clause 20. This is transparency in law. It's not promise, it's not theory. As we move forward, NaRRA, finally, it is not an endless body. Under Part 4, NaRRA is dissolved. Assets are transferred, records are preserved, mission completed. It is temporary, targeted intervention. So, Madam Speaker, let us strip the debate down to the truth. This is not unchecked power. It is structured under cabinet, ministerial, and parliamentary reporting. This is not weak governance. It is planning, it is monitoring, and it is resilience, all mandated. This is not a lack of oversight. Fulsome auditing, reporting, and a reputable board of JAMROC oversight that exists. This is not opacity, as transparency is embedded in law. And this is not permanence, because the authority is time-bound. So, Madam Speaker, they say well done is better than well said. The difference between collapse and recovery is not the scale of the disaster, it is the quality of the response. And as we have seen, Madam Speaker, 2005 Hurricane Katrina, the 2010 Haiti earthquake, and the 2017 Hurricane Maria impact on Puerto Rico. Weak coordination, slow execution, and unclear leadership allowed confidence to unravel, sometimes for years. For the US, they are rich and powerful, so they will figure it out. Haiti, not so lucky. Jamaica has avoided that trap by restoring utilities quickly, mobilizing credible financing early, 6.7 billion US dollars from all the multilateral institutions, and establishing a clear institutional driver through NaRRA. The country has anchored confidence at a critical moment, giving businesses and the people of Jamaica a visible path to stability and growth. Madam Speaker, I support this bill.
So you heard his speech, and he mentioned about us recovering pretty quickly with the JPS, with light. I don't know about that, but it's interesting that he should mention it. I made a bit of a proposal to Minister Mackenzie. He's out on the road now, been busy, but I hope he'll be able to respond to what it is that I have proposed, because I have some ideas of my own as to how we can recover even faster. I mean, electricity, water, and the various utilities, among other things. So let's hope that, he finds favor with my proposals, and, I don't know if we can do anything for this year, but hopefully, because let me tell you something, people, you see this money that is being put down, my worry, and I don't know if I should worry too much, because I have a strong feeling that the money probably won't even be spent this year. But we get this money this year, and there is nothing to say that we won't have another hurricane every damn year of this kind. We cannot keep borrowing money in order to fix and repair. So we have to come up with a different solution, right? We got this money now, and we're going to be spending it on projects to get those areas that were damaged, up to scratch. But there are still other areas in the country, other infrastructure that is weak. And if there's another hurricane, and if one comes every year, right, maybe not category 5, but certainly damaging enough, then where would that put us? So we can't be going and expecting to keep borrowing in order to deal with these weather related issues. So we have to come up with a plan. And I have an idea. I look forward to hearing from Minister Mackenzie soon. But if I may double back on the issue of the possibility that we'll be having a hurricane or some major weather event every year, which would be a big problem, right? I seem to recall during the budget debate, Mark Golding saying that there was a decision made somewhere in Europe about climate change. And he said that the government should explore the possibilities of applying to that court, I can't remember which one, about the ruling to see whether or not we may be able to get some money from those countries that are emitting these carbon stuff, resulting in climate change that is now affecting us. So he's suggesting that we should haul one or two of those big players. They're making a lot of profits from what they're doing, these carbon emissions, and we are the ones that paying the penalty. Well, it sounds like an argument. I suppose if he was prime minister, that is what he would be looking to do. The thing about it is that when you're dealing with a country that is a friendly country to you, taking up yourself and go and sue them for whatever reason is never usually the way to go. Never wise to do so. So you may want to, if the United States is one of the big culprits, go sit down and talk to them and get something out of them. Maybe some grant money or something. And when me say grant money, no, I mean little bit of money. I mean a substantial amount of money as compensation. But to carry them to court, it's never usually a good idea. No, that's not how you treat your friends. But then you would know that, right? So that was what I wanted to say about that for a long time. So I say it now. But it's a serious thing. And when you're looking at the future, you can't be just optimistic about it. You have to look at the possibilities and then plan for them. So what I'm saying? Yes. Anyway, it was an excellent presentation by the young fellow. Please tell me in the comment section what you think about it. Congratulations to him. I'm going to leave it here for now. The PAC met. The two CEOs that were supposed to turn up never did, and now them contemplating summoning them. Why they giving them 4 weeks, heaven knows. But, well, they did say that they're giving the process time, but they don't need to give the process so many weeks, right? The process must get 1 week, and the following week, the summons should be in the hands of those two CEOs. Anyway, so that is where it is. I'm going to listen to it. Now the customs is also in the parliament answering some questions. So let me sign off. I will catch you guys later. Please remember, if you have not yet done so, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave your comments in the comments section, and share. Until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.